Right now on 12, pulled from a burning Marine Park home, the latest on a little boy fighting for his life. Plus, a deadly weekend in our borough. Violent attacks leave several people dead and a teenager injured. And we'll have the latest on the road and rails. And don't forget, meteorologist Mike Pavetta has your weather on the 2s. News 12 Brooklyn starts right now.
As local news gets. News 12 Brooklyn.
Good morning and thank you for waking up with us. It's Monday, August 24th. I'm Kelsey. We'll have your top stories in a moment, but first, here's Ian Stark with your traffic report.
I'll tell you more about that coming up. Kelsey, that's in less than 10.
All right, Mike, looking forward to it. Thank you so much. A child is fighting for his life this morning after being pulled from a burning home in Marine Park. That is right near the corner of Avenue P and East 37th Street. News 12 Brooklyn reporter Katie Lusso on the scene with the latest with this. Good morning, Katie. Katie, thank you so much. In news around the city, officials are trying to figure out the cause of a massive fire in Harlem. It broke out Sunday morning on the 16th floor in an apartment building of the Riverside Park community. Authorities say 22 people, including 10 firefighters, were injured. 12 is on crime now, and it's been a deadly weekend in our borough with a string of attacks. Police say a man is dead and a 16-year-old girl injured after a shooting on Bedford Avenue last night. The girl is expected to be okay. The man died at Kings County Hospital. An arrest has yet to be made. Officials also need your help finding 5 men they say are responsible for beating a 38-year-old man to death in Crown Heights. They say these suspects you see here in the photos beat and kicked Michael Brown to the point where he was semi-conscious and spitting up blood. They say it took place early Saturday morning in front of a 214 Utica Avenue. Brown refused medical attention at the scene of the incident, but later died from his injuries. And over in Williamsburg, a 36-year-old man is dead after being shot in the head. Officials say it happened in front of the Bordequin houses around 1 this morning. If you have any information to help police in these cases, call Crime Stoppers. That number 1-800-577-TIPS. I'm Kelsey Minor and you're watching News 12 Brooklyn. We're as local news gets. Still to come, sharing dozens of stories why victims from the deadly movie theater shooting in Colorado will enter a courtroom this week.
I'm sure there wasn't another shooter, but in the beginning it was mostly just gut instinct.
Plus, Americans held as heroes abroad for taking down a gunman. The full story after the break. And rocked by an explosion. What happened in Japan today that actually hit quite close to home? Three Americans and a Briton are being held as heroes in France. It's after they stopped a gunman on a train from Amsterdam to Paris. News 12 anchor JT Fetch reports the suspect's lawyer is now denying any link to terrorism. Closer to home, 2 teenagers are in custody after an NYPD officer assigned to the mayor's security detail was shot with a pellet gun. This all happened in front of Gracie Mansion. A police spokesperson says the officer was getting out of an unmarked police car when she felt pain in her lower back. She was taken to the hospital for treatment and released. Officials say the mayor was not home at the time. No charges have been filed against those teens. At least 100 victims and witnesses of the 2012 deadly movie theater attack in Colorado are set to take the stand this week. They're expected to testify at a 3-day sentencing hearing on the impact of James Holmes' actions. Holmes has already been found guilty of the attack. That's when he opened fire inside an Aurora theater, killing 12 people and injuring 70 others. Earlier this month, a jury could not agree on the death penalty for Holmes that automatically results in life in prison without parole. Turning now to your weather on the 2s with News 12 meteorologist Mike Pavetta. And Mike, the tropics in our area pretty busy, huh?
Yes, in the Atlantic Basin.
In news around the country, a traffic stop in Louisiana has left a state trooper in the hospital. He was shot in the head. The driver accused of pulling the trigger is in police custody. He is facing a number of charges, including attempted murder of a police officer. 12 is on schools now, and the city is investigating the level of secular education at 39 schools serving the city's ultra-Orthodox Jewish community. Critics say students aren't learning fluent English or basic math at the schools. The push for secular education at the yeshivas is being spearheaded by young advocates for fair education. The lawyer for the group says he will file a lawsuit if the investigation doesn't produce change. Turning now to the latest for the race on the White House, and Donald Trump is hitting the headlines again this morning. He'll soon be on the cover of Rolling Stone. The magazine plans to feature him on the next issue due out early next month. It's the latest in a string of magazine covers for Trump. Last week, he was on the cover of Time alongside a bald eagle. The Republican candidate was also recently on the cover of The Hollywood Reporter. Well, you may have spotted some interesting sights in Manhattan on Sunday. Many people were reportedly strolling around with their tops off. It was Go Topless Day. An organizer says the goal is gender equality. 12 is on health. Second cancers are on the rise. Nearly 1 in 5 cancer cases in the U.S. now involve someone who has had the disease before. Doctors say second cancer is when the disease is found on a different site or different tissue type, not a reoccurrence of the spread of the original tumor. Some treatments can also raise the risk of new cancers forming later in life. I'm Kelsey Miner, and you're watching News 12 Brooklyn. We're as local news gets. Still to come, bringing a little bit of country to Brooklyn while our borough was rocking to a different kind of beat over the weekend. Plus, losing a finger may not hurt his football skills, but typing may be a different issue. We explain after the break.